Okay. So I can't even really remember the first time I saw Laura's name or post or anything. It was just kind of one of those things where I can't remember a time when I wasn't following her stuff. So I just remember seeing her being talked about because Brittany Leggett, she's your sponsor, right, Laura? No, she's more than one up. Okay, she's in Brittany Leggett's downline. And I remember seeing Brittany Leggett celebrate her publicly on Facebook and just kind of following her. And she was in some different, training groups and stuff for the Bombshell Dynasty that I had been in over time. And I thought she was so cute. And she was a mom too, so I love watching how other moms manage their businesses and kind of juggle being a mom with kids and stuff. So I kind of started internet stalking her for a while. And not this summit, but the one before, I saw her in person and she was just as adorable and sweet as I imagined. And I found out she lived in Tampa, which was crazy to me because I didn't even realize she was close. And now, almost 2 years later, we are in like a little success club group together, and I get to learn from her amazing wisdom all the time, which is awesome. So it's really cool how that happens in Beachbody, where you kind of get to make these friendships with people that you admire and you look up to, and you get to learn from each other. So Laura is incredible. She is someone who I think you guys are going to find really inspiring because even though a lot of coaches care about family and they care about living life by design and their moms or, whatever, like that's a common thread, Laura just kind of has a really refreshing take on it and a perspective on it. Her team's motto is love fast, live slow, which I think is really, really cool. And I know that's something her and her husband are working on building out even beyond their team to really inspire families and couples to kind of live with more intention, which I think is really, really cool. But she is someone who you can tell by her posts, or even if you just get a chance to hear her speak or talk to her, that she cares so, so much about her family, and that even though she's just a rock star businesswoman, she's not willing to sacrifice her relationships and her family to grow her business. And I think that that is a super remarkable trait and something that can be very difficult to balance. And she has done it so well. So she's a Success Club All-Star legend, which means that she has hit Success Club consecutively every month for at least 24 months in a row, which is pretty incredible. But that just goes to show, because success leaves clues, and every coach that's kind of at the top has these clues that you can start to see the things that they all have in common, and that is one of them. She is an elite coach, a 5-star diamond coach, and she is a mom of 2 little ones that she is home with a lot of the time. So if you follow her on Facebook, you'll see lots of photos of her with her kids. But I'm going to go ahead and hand it over because I know that she's got just incredible stuff to share with you. Get a pen or paper or whatever you can take notes on, because this is going to be such good stuff. So go ahead and take it over, Laura.
Okay. I have to introduce the call by saying, first of all, what an amazing, encouraging, flattering welcome that was. Second is that my husband and my 3-year-old son are having World War III in the bedroom. So if you hear screaming, maybe that would make you feel better about yourself as a mom, because this is life, right? So thank you so much, Becca. And I am fully proud to be a mom, fully proud to be, I guess, what you can consider Melanie Mitra being a hot mess as well. And I wanted to start by laughing at myself because so far today, my makeup has been ruined. I have little boy underwear all over my house. And then now,
oh no, I think we lost her to World War III. One of my favorite things about Laura while she's getting her sound and video sorted out is if you find any of her team calls or trainings online, she doesn't hide the fact that she's a mom or try and portray kind of a picture perfect scenario about her life as a coach. I've been on calls with her where her kids are like climbing on her lap while she's doing them, and she just makes it work. You know, so many of us have heard the phrase, you know, like you fit coaching into the cracks, and you just kind of make it work with what's going on in your life. And so many of us do this for our kids and for our families. And so sometimes I think it can be kind of confusing for us when we feel like we have to hide the fact that we're moms, or we have to hide the fact that we're a mess, or that, you know, our kids are going crazy. So one of the things I love about her is that she doesn't do that. Let me hand it back to her now that she's back.
Now that is your leader. That is your fearless leader who totally stalled an amount of an emergency chaos. My son came busting through here, and I was trying to love on him, and so I didn't want to just yell and say, get out of the house or get out of the room. So anyways, thank you guys for your flexibility. Again, I so apologize. That was not intended, but I do feel like it's humorous because the topic tonight we're talking about not leading with your emotions. So I'm hoping to demonstrate that through raising my children. And just talking about my core values through Beachbody and through my family, because what I wanted when I first started Beachbody is the whole point I started as a coach was to find balance. I'll share really quickly my story in an abbreviated version, if that's possible. I had worked in corporate America for 5 years before Beachbody. I was a marketing coordinator and traveled all around and did all these events, and it was, womp, womp, womp. It was fine, but I wasn't like your suit and tie kind of girl at all. And I did not like to travel away from my family so much. I actually got to the point where I was traveling 75% of the time away. I was like living in hotels and airplanes and like 7 months pregnant. It just was not an ideal lifestyle. So after I had my son, my whole life changed. And I was like, this is not what I imagined. I wanted to be at home with my son. I didn't want a boss to dictate me how I felt. I didn't feel appreciated. I had a ceiling on my income unless I surrendered more of myself to this work that I didn't even feel like I was called to do. So I honestly, mentally, I was just like spiraling down. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that, where you just kind of felt like you were losing yourself. I was at a really low point, and I was looking for a detox. So one of my friends on Facebook randomly said, hey, who wants to do a Shakeology detox with me? And I thought, detox my life. Yes, I'm in. So there I go. I looked into Shakeology, and I was like, I like this stuff. I already knew P90X. I already did Brazil butt lifts. And I looked into it, and I found out that there was a business opportunity. Well, at this point in my life, I had applied for like 1 bazillion jobs. I got accepted to none of them. So there goes my value in myself. I was thinking, nobody wants to hire me. I'm worthless. I can't even get another job. So I have to travel 75% of the time away from my newborn. These are the things I had going on in my brain. So when Beachbody came into my life, I thought, you know what? I could be my own boss. If she can do it, why can't I? And I had some struggles because I started as a coach when I was still working full-time. I was still nursing full-time. I was still traveling a lot. But I busted my tail because of my why. I wanted a flexible lifestyle, so much so that I could decide when and where and how and with who I worked with. And also, I really enjoyed the opportunity to think, if I work hard, I'll get paid well. If I don't work hard, I won't get paid well. I could be the deciding factor in that. No longer would somebody be able to fire me. No longer would somebody be able to fire my family. It would be us making my family's decisions. How much freedom is that? So I was sold. So if you're not sold with Beachbody, I don't know why. I do not know why. And we're going to get into that. So I'm going to share my screen actually because I wanted to share a couple of slides with you. And like I said, it's the core values of, I guess you could say, like my team, but it is just, I don't know, good core values of somebody's life that you can apply to your life. So I joined Beachbody, found my balance, figured out through trial and error how to work at home as a stay-at-home mom and a businesswoman, how to balance that without having mom guilt, and bringing in your husband with it. I don't know if that's a goal of yours, but I'm here to tell you that it's possible. And I have not, I've not lost myself in the process. I've found myself and I've gained so much. So my whole I guess, like mantra, my motto, my life mission is truly to live out, love fast, and live slow. What does that mean? I think it explains itself, because you can interpret that for what it means for you in your life. Like, for you to love quickly, for you to be loving fast towards someone, it's like loving as a reflex, right? You know how, like, the doctor comes and they hit your knee, it's supposed to have a reflex. Loving fast is just always thinking about, how can I help them? How can I serve them? How can I make them smile right now? How can I remind them how special they are? Okay, as a coach, what do we say all day long? You guys might plaster on your Facebook. You might see it on other top coaches' Facebook, but what do we say? I'm a coach because I like to help people. Okay, that's great. And you sound really nice saying that. But at the end of the day, look down deep in your heart. Is that really how you feel? I'm not convicting you. Hello, I'm not in here to point fingers. I'm just asking you, do you really care so much about somebody that you're going to listen more than you talk? Are you going to really care so much about somebody that you're going to help them, even if it means spending 5 more minutes with them to send them something they need? Are you going to love as a reflex so much so that you might go out of your way to write them a really special birthday message on their Facebook instead of forgetting about it? I mean, it sounds so minute, but loving as a reflex it's the whole theme of Beachbody right now. Everyone matters. So loving as a reflex, what is that? Making sure that the focus is not always on you. Because if the focus is always on you, then you can only fake it so much until somebody knows that you're probably just all about money, or that you're probably just trying to make a sale. But if you really care about somebody, they're going to know that. And so every single person you talk to behind the scenes, listen to them, ask them questions. Tell them about yourself. How can I help you? Remember that 10 pounds you wanted to lose? I know that you can do this. Look, here's an example of somebody in my past challenge group who's done this too. What's holding you back? So you have such an additional degree of, I guess you could say, empathy for somebody. If you truly, really put on your love goggles and just go to town with focusing so much on other people that they will know that. And it's like a magnet, because then you're going to feel better. You're going to feel satisfied. You're going to feel diligent about your work and fulfilled, because at the end of the day, when you lay your head down at night, you're going to think, ooh, I feel all warm and fuzzy. Why? Oh, yeah, because I kind of made 3 people feel special today, and that makes me feel good about myself. So I'm going to go do it again tomorrow. Isn't that what Beachbody is all about? Because you know what? Your paycheck is going to be a direct reflection of how many people you help and serve and love and listen to and serve, right? So I feel like I beat a dead horse there, but truly, I want you to think about giving more than you take, to really care about people, be nice, stay positive. I mean, wipe negativity out of your brain. You have no room for that. You have dreams to build. Negativity is going to hold you back. Complaining is going to hold you back. And I preach to the choir because I'm human and I've dealt with these things. So maybe you deal with them too. I don't know. Maybe you're perfect. I want you to rub off on me. But those are some of the things that I focus on as far as loving fast in my life. And I try to trickle that down to everyone that I interact with through Facebook, through stuff like this. That's really cool. Thanks, Becca. Or through my team. Or even through my son who burst through the doors crying. I want to love on him too, even when I want to pull my hair out. A second core value that we have is to balance our priorities. First and foremost, you have to know, what are your priorities? So I don't know if you've ever done this exercise, like write them out. But what you need to figure out now is where you're spending your time as far as your priorities. And not necessarily, I guess, hours in the day, but your energy. So obviously, if we consider it hours of the day, your priority probably is sleeping if you sleep 8 hours a day, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, where do you have your mind, okay, throughout the day? Do you have work hours? That's something that I started practicing as a mom who is tempted to be frazzled sometimes. I have work hours where I wake up before my kids wake up. I go to work, but my morning is not so rushed. It's more of personal development, a lot of prayer, a lot of journaling, waking up, working out, and me time. That's where I refuel, because if I don't refuel, if I don't grow as a person, as a leader, if I don't fill my cup, how in the world am I supposed to pour out that day? So in the morning, that's what I do. Spend 1 or 2 hours in the morning on me. And then I have a block of time in the morning time where it's I focus on my housework, my chores, my kids, the errands, whatever. And I'm okay with that. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle because I want to pick up my phone and be like, oh my gosh, Leland, we ain't got time for this. Stop crying, blah, blah, blah. But you know what happens? Raise your hand if you know what mom guilt is. I'm so guilty. Mom guilt is like legit. I'm practicing this, so maybe you can join me in this movement, but having work hours is way okay, and it's okay for you to say, hey, baby doll, my work hours are from this time to this time, then we play, and it's awesome, and we're going to color together on this, and we're going to do sidewalk chalk, and we're going to go outside and take a walk and feed the ducks, or have a peanut butter jelly sandwich and have peanut butter all over your face. And then we're going to work. Mommy's going to have her work time from this time to this time. And then they can independently play. They know that. That could be your routine. And then you can unplug again and then go back. So all day, every day, you don't have to be glued to this little rectangular device because your brain will turn into mush. And also, you're going to feel like a mommy. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel yucky. You're going to think, well, my business isn't growing, so I'm obviously not spending enough time on my business, but my family's neglected because I'm neglecting them. And my income's not growing, and I don't know what's happening. I'm so frazzled. This maybe just isn't for me. No, that's silly talk. This is for you, because if you have an ounce of a dream in your life, then this is your chance to fulfill it. And I'm very, very confident about that. But you're going to have to work for it, and that's going to take a lot of self-discipline for you to separate hours and to understand what is work and what is play and what is family time. So your priorities, my priorities, are in this list. My faith, my husband, which I need to work on prioritizing him, because our husband sometimes gets the boot when we're working, right? But our husbands are very much top priority, especially desiring for them to support us. They would respect us a lot more if we unplugged from time to time to have a big hot date with them, right? And then my kids, and then work, and then play. So in that order, that's how I make decisions for my family. And so as a family, I went to my husband and I said, look, this is what I'm going to try to do. Here are the responsibilities I have as a Beachbody coach. Here is the amount of time that I think it would take to accomplish that every single week. Here are the hours that I'm committing to work to satisfy my work responsibilities. Can you support me in this? Can you give me 2 weeks to knock out the schedule? Give me this night or this morning or this afternoon. But talk it through with your family. Get them on board. So when you are working, when you are in the zone, you're allowed to be, and you don't have to feel like stretched too thin or multitasking. You need to be in the zone working, because it has been proven time and time again that if you do not stay focused and you're constantly pulled here and pulled there, it's going to probably take you 7 minutes to get back in the zone to where you were as far as being creative, writing content, back and forth to conversations. So just stay focused, have work hours. Those are your priorities. So write down your priorities, figure out where you're spending your time now, maybe deciding where you need to tweak your priorities to honor those things. I already said mom guilt because that's a true thing. I totally get that. And you know what? It's okay. Brush it off. Look, tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's July 31st. Lock in Success Club. Do your thing. August 1st, fresh start. Tweak it. If you ever feel icky, like, I just feel off balance, something's weird, then you might need to readjust your schedule. You might need to readjust your priorities. You might just need a fresh start. And here's a perfect opportunity for you to have a fresh start. August 1st is right around the corner. Figure out what's most important to you and run hard after it with the support with the people who are most important to you. Now, some of you might be thinking, but my family doesn't support me. Well, you know what? You have a perfect chance to hustle and to get work done with Beachbody during the hours that they're sleeping or they're not around, or you can get creative. If this means so much to you and you know it can provide that lifestyle and freedom for your family, then you're going to do it. If it means so much to you inside your heart, you're going to do it, because that's what why power is. So know your priorities, keep your priorities, write down your priorities. Kind of feel like if you don't write down your priorities, then you're probably going to forget them. You have to visualize it, see it, know where you're spending your time, and that's when you can be the most efficient person. And that's how I, as a crazy mom of 2, 3-year-old and newborn, how I get things done. Not perfect, but that's how I get things done. The third core value in my life is that I want to constantly increase my limits. What does that mean? If you are not happy with where you are right now, something has to change. If you are not satisfied with whether it's your income or your health or your relationships or your leadership or whatever, fill in the blank. If you want what you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. You've heard that before, right? If you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. So increase your limits. That might mean reading a book about being focused and not being wildly distracted. Helping your kids get on a schedule so you know when nap time is. That might mean meal planning ahead of time, so now you don't have to spend an hour, in front of the kitchen fighting with your whole family because dinner's late. Instead, you can spend 30 minutes cooking dinner because you had a meal plan and grocery shopping is already done. It's just little tweaks in your life as a mom or as a person or as a woman that you want to feel balanced, but to increase your limits can be, you know what, I am capable of making a 6-figure income. Have you ever looked in the mirror and said that? Do you believe it? Do you think that you're capable of making a 6-figure income? I didn't. Oh gosh. When I first started as a Beachbody coach, the only thing I wanted to do was quit my job and match my income, match my corporate income. Sorry guys, my voice is going out. The only thing I wanted to do was make $1,000 a week. That was it. That was like my big crescendo, my big, I have arrived, my life is complete. I just wanted to be home with my babies. And if I can match my income, then it would make complete sense that I would have quit that job. I had to increase my limits when somebody looked at me in the eyes and said, do you think that this could be a 6-figure income? And I was thinking, psh, you're a crazy town. Because the only person I had ever known in my whole entire life to be making $100,000 a year were the big VPs from the corporate job I was at. And they worked 100 hours a week and never saw their family and was working in a cubicle all day, every day. And I thought, you will never, ever see me making that kind of money, because I thought in order to make more money, you had to give more of yourself away and you had to take more of yourself away from your priorities. The cool thing, ladies, is that with Beachbody, you don't have to do that. You don't have to lose yourself in the process of creating financial freedom for your family. What an amazing, amazing bowl of opportunity here. We are able to increase our limits, remind ourselves that we need to stretch ourselves like a rubber band. And the farther we stretch ourselves, the farther we're increasing our limits. It might burn a little bit, just like a rubber band. I wish I had one as a visual. I use these little undies. Look, these are so cute. Aren't these cute? Okay, but this is a rubber band. And look, it's a rubber band. When you stretch it, it gets hot. That's like the chemical compound of a rubber band. The elements in a rubber band, I don't even know how to say it scientifically because I don't care. But I've studied it before, and that's the point, is that a rubber band stretches, it gets heated up, and the more you stretch it, like a rubber band in your hair, what's going to happen? It's not always going to come back together in that pretty little circle. What it might do is it's going to become weak. It's going to become more loose. It's going to become bigger. And sometimes when you stretch yourself so thin and when you're increasing your limits, when you might be working more, when you might, instead of inviting 5 people a week, you might be inviting 15 people a week. Instead of working out 3 days a week, you're working out 7 days a week. Instead of fearing no's, you go for 20 a day. Those are things that you can increase your limits on, and you might feel the heat. You might feel brittle. You might feel at any point you're about to snap because you have reached your limit. And that is where you need to reach for every month. You need to increase your limit to the point where you've never gone before, right before you break, and then come back down. And the next month, you need to stretch yourself so much farther than you've ever gone before, invite more people than you've ever gone before, go hardcore after your fitness like you've never gone before, go after more no's, help more people more than you have ever before to increase that limit, and then come right back to the base because you're going to be better for it. And if you can heal from that constant stretching, you will be a top coach and you will be making bank and you will be happier. And while maintaining your priorities, you will look back in your life and not even recognize it. It's a part of the process. That's how every CEO, every top person in the world, that's how Oprah Winfrey, that's how Warren Buffett, that's how all these people have become who they are as far as with their wealth or influence or leadership. So figure out what you're limiting yourself at now. And if you feel like your baseline is this, I challenge you, you have one more day of the month. If your base is here and you're at Success Club 4, that's like a cardinal sin with Beachbody. You cannot reach Success Club 4 or 2 or 1 without hitting 5. That's to increase your limits. Have that as a baseline no matter what. And that's how you can reach your dreams, which is going to be my last core value. To build your dreams, you're going to have to know your dreams. You have to have a vision, and it can't just be a la-di-da kind of thing. It cannot, I'm just being real. It can't be, I feel so fulfilled when I help people. Okay, look, I get it. I like to help people. But at the end of the day, is that going to wake me up at 5 a.m. in the morning? No, because my snooze button is the devil. What's going to wake me up in the morning is a why that I know will affect my family, a why that I know will affect generations to come, a why that I know my team is relying on me. And then I have a responsibility as a leader, as a coach, as someone who told them I would support them. That is a responsibility that I take seriously, and I hope that you do as well. So building your dreams, you have to have a vision for where you want to be. And that could be a short-term vision. That's okay. It could be something you want to do in 3 months. It could be 6 months, 12 months. But give yourselves these benchmarks, these milestones that you're reaching for. I don't know how familiar you are with the leadership ladder, but it's huge. It's an amazing opportunity for you to clearly state goals for yourself to achieve those as far as your dreams, because you know the higher you climb on that leadership ladder, the more success you're experiencing in your business as well as your family in your life. So how can you build your dreams? You need to do a whole lot of personal development. A lot. If you're doing a lot right now, do more. I don't know what it means to you. Maybe you're doing like 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, or maybe you're doing 30 minutes a day. But I would encourage you to constantly grow your mind with where you think you're going, with what you think you're capable of. You need to draw a line in the sand right now, because with Beachbody, man, I just think if you have a dream in your life, let's say it's to make a certain amount of money. That's cool. If money doesn't make you happy, and at the end of the day it won't, let's say it's to retire your husband so you guys can be at home together. Let's say it's to pay cash for your next car. Let's say it's to retire your your mom. Hello. Let's say it's to retire your mom from her job. Let's say it's to pay cash for your next house. What's your big dream? What is it? Okay, now let me ask you this. How are you going to get there? If you think that there's another opportunity out there like this, that's full of sisterhood, that's full of support, that's full of encouragement, that's full of complete balance and education on being healthy while loving on people, mentoring people, becoming a better person, and earning a paycheck, there's not. This is it. So if you have a dream in your life, if you're not going to fulfill your dream by using this, then what are you going to do to fulfill your dream? And that's okay. Maybe this is not it. But I'm telling you that if you think that this is your avenue, if you think that Beachbody is your vehicle to reach that said dream, then don't drag your feet. You might be scared. You might be tired. I am too. You see these bags under my eyes? My son is 7 months old and he still doesn't sleep through the night. I have a voice that's scratchy because it sounds like I ate a frog. I'm tired too, but I'm happy. And I know I'm working for a purpose. And I want you guys to think about what dreams you want to fulfill, because you only get one life to live. And if you have the chance, if you really, really, really deep down in your heart know that you are supposed to be all that you can be, that what you're supposed to do, you need to do, this is your chance. And so stop dragging your feet. This is it. And those core values, that is what has helped me so much get past any wall that I was stuck behind, that helped me get past any fear that I had or any comparison traps that I had, because I know I had to be me. I had to focus on what is important for me and my family, my dreams, my priorities. And at the end of the day, I just followed what the top coaches were doing, not to be their mirrors or their copycat, because that's not going to help you. But I'm talking about their business practices, like hitting Success Club every month, staying consistent on social media, reading personal development, working out. The 3 vital behaviors, guys. There's 3 things. 3 things. Not 1,000 things. 3 things. Do them every single day. And you won't even recognize your life 12 months from now. Seriously. It's that cool. It's that cool. It is. Is that cool? So do you believe that this is the chance for you? Do you believe that the dream that you have, you can fulfill it through this? So I want you guys to have a vision. I want you to stay the course. Be diligent in this. You've seen Becca succeed wildly. She's an amazing leader. I adore her and her style. Oh man, I have style envy. But that's cool because it's totally her, and I'm just a crazy mom. So anyways, I am just so honored to be asked to be on the call. So thank you so much. I hope that maybe 1 minute of tonight helped. And perhaps it was the minute that you saw me be a real life mom and you thought, you know what? My house looks like, maybe your house is perfect. But if at any moment of your life, you have ever had a moment that I had at the beginning of this call, I'm telling you now, you can be a good, very successful Beachbody coach. You can, because you experienced it firsthand. My life is not all put together. It's craziness. My bed is not made. I have no makeup on. It's crazy town. But I believe, and this is the vehicle that I'm going to use to fulfill the dreams and the purpose for my whole family. So, thank you guys so much, and I hope that was helpful. Becca, I don't know what you want to do now. If you want to
Thank you, Laura, so much. So incredibly helpful and inspiring. I don't know if you have to go or if you have a couple minutes that you could answer a few questions. Yeah? Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Laura? Let's make sure to not honor her time. But if I know one person asked where the name Moxie comes from your team.
I am so excited that you asked that. Who asked that? I love you. I want to give you a big hug. Hug.
Yeah.
Awesome. Actually, Moxie is something that when I first started as a Beachbody coach, I told you, working in corporate America, and my boss at the time, who was a great mentor of mine, we didn't get, whatever bosses, he actually complimented me and he told me that I had a lot of tenacity. So I thought, I don't even know what that word means. It's probably an insult. So I looked it up. And one of the synonyms for tenacity was something called Moxie. So it was something that I kind of had in my head for a while. And Moxie in the dictionary means the ability to face trial or difficulty with spirit and courage. And that means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. Because in life, we're going to have difficulty. In life, we're going to have trial. We're going to hit walls. But I want to face it head on and say, look, I'm going to be courageous and face this. I'm going to be spirited. I'm going to be the light and the positivity that we need to overcome walls. So Moxie is much more than just a name plastered over makeup or drinks or those silly Moxie girl dolls. To me, the definition is strength and endurance.
I like it. I like Moxie. Does anybody else have any questions for Laura? You can write them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Shelby, I will always be real and honest. Yes, and you might feel really great about yourself now, actually seeing what a hot mess I am.
Laura, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So what do you use programs like Hootsuite to help with your posting? And how do you grow your cold market mostly?
Great questions. I used to use Hootsuite. And then I got kind of funky for me because the pictures would come out weird, and then it would say like Hootsuite at the top. And honestly, I just couldn't keep up with that. So I focus on posting at least 3 times a day. So my rule of thumb is I post 3 times a day, no question. I mean, I do more than that now, but sometimes, like on my bare minimum days, I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And one of those 3 posts, I make sure it's about health and fitness, whether that's my workout for the day, something I ate, or results that I'm getting, or challenges getting. So it is not very time consuming for me because I kind of feel like I'm in a groove. And the things that are more time consuming, like those public invites that I want to make sure are crafted very well and the graphics are very eye-catching, what I'll do is during my work hours, I'll set aside like 30 minutes and I will put on my to-do list, make invite graphics for next week and with message. And so for however minutes it takes, I'll go on PicMonkey, make a couple graphics, and I'll go ahead and type out what I would want to say. I save them in a separate group, a private group which is between me and my husband on Facebook. I'll copy and paste the message in there with the picture. So next week, when I know it's time for me to post an invite, I can easily go copy and paste, say the picture, post it on my public wall. So that's how I avoid the Hootsuite thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the last question about cold market is, you know, I just think word of mouth. I know that's awful. I don't have a like page yet. I think we're developing one focused on love fast, live slow, not necessarily on me yet. But my cold market has come through referrals. And I am very, very, very diligent when it comes to following up and contacting people behind the scenes. So my Facebook affinity, I guess you can call it, like the algorithms on Facebook, since I like and comment on like a bazillion people's stuff every day, my news feed is also going to pop up on their stuff. So I have a pretty, to me, rhythmic system on how I reach out to people all on my friends list to hopefully have them see my thread on their newsfeed. Does that make sense?
Yes. And do you set aside time just to do that, for the liking and the commenting? Because I find that I do it throughout the day, and like this is taking a lot of time. So if I could just get it down to 1 hour of my time, then because
it's so important to be efficient. Oh my goodness. I know, because what happens if you scroll, it's like the devil. Because then you're like, 40 minutes has gone by and I've not seen a single person that wasn't the coach.
No, mine lately have been notifications.
I do. So I would encourage you, if you work off of a contact list, you go off that. You go through their contact list, look at the person's name and like and comment. Don't just scroll Facebook and look for people to like and comment, but be very intentional with who you're talking to. So for me, I work from a list. I have it on my screen. I have their list. I have their name. Okay, Susie Joe. Click on Susie Joe, like, comment, look at my message thread. Oh, look, I need to respond to her. Or the last thing she asked me was, what did I eat for breakfast? I don't know. So I'll make sure that each person on my contact list, if they're up that day for me to contact them, let's say it's 15, 20 people a day just to touch, just to be in front of, then I'll do that. And the next day it might be 15 to 20 more people, so on and so forth.
Thank you.
Laura, in the chat, there's a couple questions. One is, let's see, was there ever a time in your business where you felt like your family, ministries, or other thing had to take your attention over the business, and the business had to not take a back seat, but you know that may mean it wouldn't be growing as fast as others, and how did you reconcile that?
I am a very competitive person by nature. And that has been a struggle for me, because I thought, well, why am I not growing as fast as so-and-so? And what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? To answer that, has there ever been a time in my business where I felt like I had to take a, not take a back seat, but slow down with Beachbody? No. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because in any given time, if I felt like I was feeling off, or my family was complaining about the amount of time I was spending with Beachbody, I felt like it was more of a heart issue with me than well, I have to choose one or the other. Okay, fine. If I have to choose one or the other, I'm always going to choose my family. Duh. But I don't really feel like Beachbody has to be the ultimatum. Is that a word? Ultimatum? Like, it's not an either or. It has to be an and. So I just apologized to my family, and I said, you know what? I'm sorry that I've been neglecting you guys. Forgive me. Let's tweak this. And that's what I do. I'm going to fix this. We're going to get that back together. So I just focus on my baseline. What am I going to do every single day? I'm going to do the basics. I'm going to post 3 times a day, post about health, invite 10 people a week. I'm going to be a product of the product. So if nothing else is going for me, at least they can see that I'm legit. I'm going to make sure my challenge groups are taken care of. Like, I have basic things that I will do no matter the storm in my life. And if I stay consistent to that, the family and ministries and services that I have in my life will complement what I'm doing with Beachbody, because through my relationships I get with family and business and mentoring and ministry, my Beachbody market, I guess you can say, will think, oh, you know what? I like that, because she is real and she does things outside of Beachbody, and I think I can too. So it's never had to be an either or. As long as you're remaining balanced, you can do both. My opinion.
Okay, and then 2 more questions. What are your work hours, and how do you ask for referrals for the word of mouth? Do you ask, or is it just going to happen for you?
My work hours are, I work in the morning before my boys wake up. I usually work from 6 to 8, and my children are fun and crazy. So their schedule as of lately is off because they've been sick. They've been waking up around 6 or 7. But I tell them, this is mommy time. Mommy's not playing with you until 8 o'clock. You can sit in front of that TV. You can hang out with daddy. You can go back to sleep. But mommy is not doing anything with you until 8 o'clock. And that's okay. I don't feel guilty about it. Because you know what? At 8 o'clock, that's when I'm in mom mode. And I'll say, okay, let's wake up. Let's go potty. Let's eat breakfast. Let's go outside. So my work hours are in the morning from 6 to 8. And then typically at nap time. But if they don't have a solid nap that day, I still have mommy time. I still have 1 to 4 or 2 to 5 solid. Don't mess with me during those hours. It's mommy time. You can do your own thing. Don't burn the house down, but that's mommy time. And then at night after they go to bed. Until I try not to stay up extremely late. But as of late, I've only been giving up 2 nights a week because I want to honor my husband. Monday nights and Thursday nights are when I work. And last question, how do I ask for referrals? At the end of my challenge groups, I'll just say, who enjoyed this? Do you have any friends who would enjoy this as well? I have even said before, if you give me a referral, you get this, kind of as an incentive thing. I will, like I said, I follow up a lot, and that's truly, I feel like the game changer for me is the frequency in which I follow up, not because I want to nag people or hound them, but because I want them to know I really just want to be their friend. And it's up to them to feel like I'm being a creep or being a friend, but my intentions are always to be a friend. So it's not my fault. If I'm like, hey, how are you? And they don't respond, and I send them another message and say, oh my gosh, that picture you posted of yourself was so cute. Who took your pictures? They look so adorable. Were they professional? And they still don't respond. I'm thinking, I'm just trying to be friendly. I'm not trying to sell you anything. That's on them. So just follow up with people. And the referrals that I get are typically people who finally come around and say, oh, I saw that you messaged me, or they start liking and commenting on my things, and we just become friends. Is that weird? Or is that like a really roundabout way to say what I do?
No, I get it. I don't remember who I was watching. It was some coach that's been a coach for a really long time. They're not in the Bombshell Dynasty, so I can't remember her name. But it was on YouTube. You know how you get like on YouTube rabbit holes, and like an hour later you don't even know how you got there?
Yeah.
And she was saying that she feels like a lot of coaches complicate follow-up, and they think it has to be like a very serious thing or a very specific thing, but really follow-up just means reconnect. Like at its core, that's all you're doing is you're just being like, hi, I'm still here. Like that's pretty much it. But yeah, I agree 100%. Following up is huge. And asking for referrals, it can be a really easy thing as you're kind of closing out your challenge group. Or another thing that I like to do is invite them to bring their friends in with them the next month if they're keeping going. Say, hey, like, I will always hold a space if you bring in a friend. Like, you don't have to worry if my group's full. I'll always make room for them. And a lot of times people will be like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, my friend was saying she wanted to do it. And if they have no interest in being a coach, which I'll always ask them first, I'll always give them the opportunity if they already have a friend who wants to do it. But I have a couple of friends who have sent me at least 5 to 10 people because they just don't really want to be a coach, but they know I'll always squeeze them in no matter what, and they tell their friends that, and they kind of appreciate that. So it's almost like an insider thing. Like, you can kind of make it like they feel special because they've been in your group, which is true. You already know them. You already care about them. And people appreciate that when you make them feel, like you really care and that they're special to you.
Yeah. And truly, I feel like the reason why I've been able to tap into, I guess you can call a cold market, is because I don't know if you guys know this, but you can download your Facebook friends list. I'm sure you do. I was like a late bloomer to that. And literally, I think, okay, if they're my Facebook friend, I'm going to be friends with them. And then I started to work through that list. Literally, every single person. I don't neglect anyone because I'm thinking, they're going to think I'm weird. No. You talk to them. You follow up with them. You invite them. So once you reconnect with them within 30 days, invite them to something. No harm, no foul. Done. If they say no, they're still your friend. You guys can still connect. But You might think that you've tapped out of your warm market, but you probably can still talk to a whole heck of a lot of people on your Facebook. I still can. Maybe you can't, but I can.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I feel like if you're really doing the 3 vital behaviors correctly, your warm market kind of never ends because you're always bringing new friends into it. And so, you can always be reconnecting. You can always be adding people that you meet or adding people that come into your life. Like, I am notorious. As soon as my husband introduces me to one of his new friends, I add their wife on Facebook. Like, that's pretty much what I do. And I can't tell you how many of them have become challengers of mine. But I'm like, hey, like, let's be friends. Our husbands are friends. We can be friends too. So you can always be expanding that warm market and just getting to know people. And I'm notorious about it. Like, if you are a friend of my husband's, you're going to be my friend on Facebook. It could happen.
I would want to be your friend, Becca.
Thanks.
So that's all good.
Rachel asks if you would mind sharing how you downloaded your Facebook friends list.
Yeah. Actually, I created a document for my team, and I can share that with you, Becca, and you can just post it to them.
Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. I want to honor everybody's time, and Laura's especially. Does anybody have anything burning before we sign off? Last call. Speak, type now, or forever hold your peace. Wave your hand if you're typing, because I saw a bunch of faces look down. Okay, we're good. I didn't want to cut anybody off. Thank you so much, Laura, for being here and giving of yourself, and giving some of your Thursday night work time to us and our team. I know that we have a lot of moms on the call, especially that this is speaking right to their hearts, but even to everybody else, because even if you're not a mom, you've got stuff that you're juggling. You've got lots of priorities, lots of people you care about, even if it's not kids. And I think that the same mindset can be great for everybody across the board, whether or not they're juggling children or pets or spouses or siblings and family members, friends, whatever it is. I think it's great to have the talk about priorities and balance and having that why power behind it all. So thank you so much, Laura. If you guys aren't already following Laura Mendenhall, you can find her just by typing her name into Facebook and then clicking the follow button, and you'll be able to see all her awesome, inspiring posts that she does. Thank you guys so much for being here on a Thursday, giving your time and energy to our team call. And let's see, it's 10:30 Thursday. You've got an hour and a half left of today and all day tomorrow to lock in your July goals, guys. So I'm going to let you guys go so you can get to work. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys, so much. Thank you.